Hey folks, I hope that you guys are doing pretty well. So today is Thursday, the 21st of March 2024, and this video is going to be my combined 46 and 47 World Force Biblical Decipherings. And in today's deciphering, I'm going to decipher for you in the book of Jeremiah some prophecies in chapter 31 and also in chapter 32 as well. Some very interesting stuff indeed, okay? So if you just head over to the book of Jeremiah, go to chapter 31, which on my King James Bible we can see right at the bottom, okay? Now, before we go through the prophecies then, I want to show you the program here that I got for you today, okay? Of course, today's the 21st of March, 2024. I'll be suffering for you in the book of Jeremiah, chapters 31 and 32, some verses if you like. On chapter 31, it'll be from verse 1 to 14, okay? And then the program for chapter 32, okay, will be verses 37 to 44, okay? So back to 31. Now, one of the tricky parts about chapter 31, okay, is that you have to rightly divide the dispensations in this chapter, okay? And it's actually a little bit tricky because not everything, not all the prophecies that are in the book of Jeremiah, if you like, are all for when Israel went into captivity, okay? Like we read here on chapter 29, on verse 4, thus say the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, unto all that are carried away captives, whom I have caused to be carried away from Jerusalem unto Babylon. Not everything that Jeremiah talks about in his prophecies, in his book, if you like, are all regarding the captivity of Babylon, okay? Here, for example, in Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 7, okay, alas, for that day is cried, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it, okay? So this is a prophecy that belongs in the church age, but it's actually talking about what Israel's going to be going through during the tribulation period. I've done many videos on this. Many Bible scholars said that this actually belongs in the tribulation period. Yes, it does talk about the tribulation period, but it belongs into the church age because it's actually warning Israel, okay, before they head into Jacob's trouble, that, hey, they're going to be in trouble. But anyway, I don't want to be talking about this. Today's video is actually discussing chapter 31, okay? Now, I guess, what gives it away in chapter 31, if you like, verses 31.1 all the way to 31.7, okay? These are all Millennial Kingdom Bible prophecies, and what gives it away is actually verse 6, where it says, arise you, and let us go up to Zion, unto the Lord our God. The only way that you can see the Lord, or the Jewish people can see the Lord, is during the Millennial Kingdom only, okay? So I wrote here in my notes, this verse sets up and gives the account of the context that the prophecies in Jeremiah from Jeremiah 31 verses 1 to 7 are all Millennial Kingdom prophecies, okay? And then from 31 verses 8 to 11 are church age, and verses 12 to 14 are Millennial Kingdom, but we'll go through that later. Let me just quickly go through the program here, and then we'll start reading from the Bible, okay? So 31.1, it says, I will be the God of all the families of Israel, and they shall be my people. Of course, this is a Millennial Kingdom prophecy, because the only way that God will be the God of all the families of Israel, it can only happen during the Millennial Kingdom, when actually God is right there with them, okay, being the God of the families of Israel. Then on verse 2, the people which were left of the sword. This is actually very, very interesting, and I can't wait to talk about this prophecy here. This is actually the icing of the cake, if you like. Okay, the people which were left of the sword found grace in the wilderness, even Israel. Okay, so basically, we know that if we read Zechariah chapter 13, verse 8, we know that only 1/3. Unfortunately, it's sad to read. You know that only 1/3 will make it through. You know, all those Jewish people, they got, you know, when they are in Czechoslovakia in the tribulation period, only 1/3 will make it through. Sadly, you know, I wish it was actually at least 2/3, but it's very uncomfortable saying this. You know, but only 1/3. But you know, if you take this verse here, 31.2 to Revelation 12, verses 14 to 17, how God is going to protect the Jewish people in the wilderness. Okay, it ties to this one because the people which were left off the sword found grace in the wilderness. So the verses in Revelation 12, verses 14 to 17, are actually those survivors, if you like, that God is protecting supernaturally. Okay, and it ties into this one in Jeremiah 31, verse 2, the people which were left of the sword found grace in the wilderness. In other words, that third that makes it through into the millennial kingdom, you know. But anyway, we'll talk about in more detail about that in a moment when we see the verses in the Bible. Then 31.4, again, I will build thee. This is the millennial kingdom process because this is a perfect time when Jesus will build Israel again. Thee refers to Israel. Okay, and then in verse 6, I just told you at the beginning, arise you, meaning Israel, and let us go up to Zion, unto the Lord our God. The only way they can see the Lord or Jesus, if you like, is during the millennial kingdom. Then there is a change, beginning on verse 8, okay, to the church age. So from verse 8 to 11, these are church age prophecies. They're pretty straightforward. There's another change again in verse 12 to 14. This is a millennial kingdom. Verse 12 says, the goodness of the Lord. You know, the only time that the Jewish people will experience the goodness of the Lord is actually during the millennial kingdom. Now we'll talk about the program of chapter 32, verses 37 to 44. When I begin with my 47th biblical deciphering. Okay, this is also quite interesting as well. There is an icing on the cake here right at the end. So anyway, folks, let's get right into it, and you're gonna learn something today, that's for sure. Okay, so let me just make sure that the cell phone can focus really well. Here we go. And it reads, at the same time, said the Lord, will I be the God of all the families of Israel, and they shall be my people. So when you think about deciphering Bible prophecies, ask yourself in which dispensation these verses can belong to. You know, ask yourself, okay, will I be the God of all the families of Israel? When can this happen? When can actually Jesus be the Lord and the God of all the families in Israel? This can only happen in the millennial kingdom, okay? And they shall be my people. See? They shall be my people, meaning that God, the Lord Jesus, is going to be with his family, you know, in Israel. They shall be my people. So, of course, this belongs to the millennial kingdom. And in verse 2 we go here, thus said the Lord, the people which were left. This is actually a very interesting one, and we'll go through the prophecies in a moment. The people which were left of the sword, okay, like I just told you about, only 1/3 will make it according to Zechariah chapter 13, verse 8. Unfortunately, you know, I wish it was a higher number, but then this third found grace in the wilderness. Wilderness here is a key word, and I will show you what Revelation 12 says, because during the second half of the tribulation period, then the Jewish people have to flee into the wilderness. Okay, we'll go to Revelation in a moment, and God is going to protect them supernaturally. Okay, even Israel. Okay, so all those that are going to be making it into the millennial kingdom are in the wilderness. When I went out to cause him to rest. Okay, so if we now go to Zechariah 13:8, I got page markers here. Bear with me, folks, for one moment. So we are on Zechariah now. And if you look at verse 8 here, and it shall come to pass that in all the land, said the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off. That's unfortunate. That's a lot of Jewish people. 2/3 will die, but the third shall be left therein. And I will bring the third part for the fire, and I will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried, and they shall call on my name, and I will hear them, and I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord is my God. So it's unfortunate, folks, but it's Bible prophecy. What can you do? But anyway, let's just go to the book of Revelation. That's why it's important to believe on Jesus. Okay, if you go to the book of Revelation, chapter 12, and you read verses 14 to 17, it says here, and the woman refers to Israel, were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness. Okay, so notice how this ties then to Jeremiah verse 2. Okay, I got it right here on the notes. Okay, the people which were left of the sword and grace in the wilderness. Okay, on verse 2. All right, notice how we got a match here then on Revelation 12 verse 14. So I go to Revelation 12 14. And the woman, just to recap, which is Israel, was given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place where she is nourished for a time and times and half a time, meaning 3.5 years, from the thighs of the serpent, meaning the devil. And the serpent cast out of his mouth water. There's a flood after the woman. So the devil is actually going to try and flood the Jewish people in the wilderness, but so that they might die, if you like, so that they might be carried away. But it says here that the water is going to be swallowed up by the earth. Okay, and the earth helped the woman, meaning Israel. Okay, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood, which the dragon cast out of his mouth. Okay, and the dragon was angry or wroth with Israel. Okay, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandment of God and have the testimony of Jesus Christ. Now, this is an interesting prophecy as well, because those Jewish people that are in the wilderness, okay, God is going to save them from that flood that the dragon, the devil, is going to kill them, if you like. But then what he's going to do, okay, because he's filed with that flood, then he's very angry, and he's going to go after the remnant or the Jewish people or the woman. Okay, so perhaps Jewish people living somewhere in the Middle East or in other parts of the world, in which the dragon is going to go after them. So that's sad as well. But that's why the Jewish people have to believe in Jesus, believe in the gospel of salvation found in the first book of Corinthians, chapter 15, verses 1 to 4, how Jesus died on the cross, and then he was buried and rose again on the third day according to the scriptures, so that as many Jewish people can go out at the rapture of the church. Amen. Okay, so let's go back to Jeremiah again, chapter 31. I got a page marker here. Folks, bear with me. Alright, so we just spoke about verse 2. Okay, so I don't want to repeat myself too much, so let's go to verse 3. The Lord hath appeared of old unto me, saying, Yea, I have loved thee with an everlasting love, therefore with loving kindness I have drawn thee. Now verse 4 is actually interesting. Again, I will build thee. Now the fact it says again, I will build thee. This, if you ask yourself, where can this happen during the Millennial Kingdom? Okay, because we're just reading the context, how these verses are actually for the Millennial Kingdom, especially verses 1 to 7. Okay, during the Millennial Kingdom, then God is going to rebuild Israel, and those shall be built or virtue of Israel. In other words, those that make it through into the Millennial Kingdom. Okay, because they're going, it's saying virtue because they're going to be purified. Okay, just like we read in Zechariah chapter 13, verse 8. And thou shalt again be adorned with thy tabrets, and shall go forth in the dances of them that make merry. So yeah, the Jewish people are going to be happy again, you know. Verse 5, thou shalt yet plant vines upon the mountains and Samaria. The planters shall plant and shall eat them as common things. So again, very straightforward. The Jewish people will be farming in their land and eating the fruit thereof. Verse 6, for there shall be a day that the watchman upon the man Ephraim shall cry, arise you, and let us go to Zion unto the Lord our God. Okay, very key here. Like I said, this verse 6 is actually what it gives the context. These are actually Millennium Kingdom Prophecies from Jeremiah 31, verse 1, if you like, all the way to verse 7. Okay, so from verse 1 to verse 7, these are Millennial Kingdom Prophecies. Okay, because if I can just get this cell phone to refocus, the only way that the Jewish people can arise and go to Zion, if you like, to the third temple, Temple Mount, to see the Lord is during the Millennial Kingdom. Okay, for thus saith the Lord, sing with gladness for Jacob, and shout among the chief of the nations. Okay, there will be nations that are, those, after the judgment of the sheep and the goats, if you like, those nations that make it through. Publish you, praise you, and say, "O Lord, save thy people, the remnant of Israel." Okay, so these are actually Millennial Kingdom Prophecies. And then we see a change on verse 8, going back to the church age, if you like. So from verse 8 to 11, a church age, okay, because it says here, "Behold, I will bring them I will bring them from the north country and gather them from the coast of the earth, and with them the blind and the lame, the woman with child and her that travaileth with child together. A great company shall return thither." Okay, so these are the Jewish people coming back to Israel. Think about Israel becoming a nation in 1948. They shall come with weeping and with supplication. Will I lead them? I will cause them to walk by the rivers of waters in a straight way. Just bear with me, folks. The cell phone is just refocusing. Wherein they shall not stumble, for I am a father to Israel, and Ephraim is my firstborn. Okay. And then verse 10, hear the word of the Lord, all you nations, and declare it in the isles afar off, and say, he that scattered Israel will gather him and keep him as a shepherd, that's his flock. And then lastly on verse 11, for the Lord has redeemed Jacob and ransomed him from the hand of him that was stronger than he. Okay, so there is a change in verse 7. So from 8 to verse 11, then these are church age prophecies. Think about Israel becoming a nation then in 1948. Okay, and then from verses 12 to 14, then these are actually church age prophecies. Okay, so on verse 12 we read here, therefore shall they come and sing in the height of Zion. Okay, so this can only happen during the Millennial Kingdom, when the Jewish people are going to be happy, if you like, and shall flock together to the goodness of the Lord. See, this gives it away, the goodness of the Lord. When is the Lord going to be in Zion, so that the Jewish people can come and sing in the head of Zion? This can only happen during the Millennial Kingdom, when the Lord is there. Okay, so also this gives it away. Okay, and shall flow together to the goodness of the Lord, for wheat and for wine and for oil and for the young of the flock of the herd. And their soul shall be It's like water garden, and that shall not sorrow anymore at all. See? So once the Jewish people are back in the land together with the Lord Jesus, of course they're gonna be rejoicing, they're gonna be happy, and they're not gonna have any more sorrow. Okay? So this cannot happen during the millennial kingdom. Then shall the virgin rejoice. Now the fact that it's using the word virgin here is because I told you about the prophecy in Zechariah chapter 13 verse 8, where God is gonna refine the Jewish people as gold, if you like, and silver. All right. Verse 14 here we got, and I will satiate the soul of the priest with fatness, and my people shall be satisfied with my goodness, said the Lord. Again, when can the Jewish people be satisfied with the goodness of the Lord? This can only happen during the millennial kingdom. And so it ends here. Then we got a change here for another dispensation. So I just wanted to decipher chapter 31, verses 1 to 14. Okay. Now I'm gonna be starting with my 47th or first biblical deciphering, and I'm gonna be deciphering chapter 32, okay, from verses 37 to 44. Okay, so I'm gonna be showing you my program here. Let me move the Bible here over to the side so I can show you the program. So I'll be deciphering from verses 37 to 44 in chapter 32. So from 37, okay, where it says here, gather them out of all countries. It belongs in the church age, if you like. But then on verse 38, we got a change. We know that Israel is going to become a nation in 1948 on verse 37, but then it changes to the millennial kingdom when Jesus is actually the king of Israel. And so from verses 38 to 41, this will be millennial kingdom only prophecies when Jesus is the king of Israel. And then we got another change again in verses 43 and 44 that become again church age, fields bought, subscribe evidences, in other words, contracts. People will be buying land and subscribing evidence means that they're going to be swapping contracts. And on verse 44, buy fields for money, church age only. Now, one of the things that I wrote down regarding verses 43 and 44 is that people will be subscribing evidences and buying fuels, swapping contracts, if you like, can only be church age, only because when Jesus comes to be the king of Israel, then the Jews won't be buying land anymore. Jesus will partition and distribute the land amongst the Jewish people, okay? There won't be any more. Jesus is not going to allow the Jewish people to be buying and selling land amongst themselves. No, that is actually a sin. Jesus himself, as the king of Israel, he will be in charge, and there won't be any more buying and selling. Jesus will partition and distribute the land amongst the Jewish people because Jesus is going to be the king of Israel. Of course, then we're going to have the 12 apostles who will rule over the 12 tribes of Israel, according to Matthew chapter 19, verse 28. So we'll look at that very shortly. So let us go to verse 32. Don't forget, folks, Jeremiah chapter 32, just in case. Keep going, folks. Concentrate because you're going to be learning something, okay? So let us look at verse 37. It's not that many, folks, just verses 37 to 44. If you just bear with me, and we'll finish up the video. Behold, I will gather them out of all countries, whether I have driven them in my anger and in my fury and in great wrath, and I will bring them again unto this place, meaning Israel, and I will cause them to dwell safely. So, church age prophecy. Think of Israel becoming a nation in 1948. But then in verse 38, we have a change again going into the millennial kingdom. So verses 38 to 41 are actually millennial kingdom prophecies, okay? And it says here, and they shall be my people. When can the Jewish people shall be God's people? During the millennial kingdom, and I will be their God. So you see how there's a change from the church age into the millennial kingdom. That's why we gotta be very clever, folks, when we come to deciphering Bible prophecies and read every word, because every word counts. Then we got verse 39 here, which is also Millennial Kingdom. And I will give them one heart. Okay, so this can only happen during the Millennial Kingdom. To that 1/3, according to Zechariah chapter 13, verse 8, that third that maxes through into the Millennial Kingdom, that's Jewish people. And I will give them one heart and one way, that they might fear me forever, for the good of them and of their children. Now, what we need to remember here, folks, is that all those Jewish people that might get into the Millennial Kingdom, all of them shall be saved. Okay, they will be saved according to the book of Romans. I've done a video of this on this a while back. So then, verse 40, and I will make an everlasting covenant with them, and I will not turn away from them to do them to do them good, but I will put my fear in their hearts, and they shall not depart from me. Okay, so this can only happen during the Millennial Kingdom, when Jesus is, is going to be dealing with that remnant that survived the tribulation period. They will believe on Jesus. And then 41, the last one that belongs into the millennium, I will rejoice over them. The only time that Jesus can rejoice over them to do them good will be during the Millennial Kingdom. And I will plant them in this land, okay, Israel, assuredly, with my whole heart and with my whole soul, okay? So then we have a change, 43 and 44, okay, into the church age. But just to finish up here on verse 42, for thus saith the Lord, like as I have brought all the great evil upon these people, so I will bring them all the good that I have promised them. Okay, so it finishes here in verse 42, if you like, for the Millennial Kingdom, okay? But what we have to consider in verses 43 and 44, which are important verses to decipher here, is that it actually goes back to the church age, okay? And it says here, and the fields shall be bought in this land. Okay, so we know that a lot of Jewish people right now living in Israel, are buying property, where if you say it is desolate, without man or beast, it is given into the hand of the Chaldeans. Okay, now, this is going back to the Chaldeans, but what it's actually saying is that, it's not going to be like the days of old, like the days of the Chaldeans, if you like, or, when the Jewish people, lost the first temple, if you like, they went into captivity and all that. But during the church age, when God is going to bring them back, if you like, then the Jewish people will start buying land, okay? Now, if I can just wait 1 sec, get this cell phone to refocus, and then on verse 44, men shall buy fields for money and subscribe evidences. So, of course, the Jewish people will be buying land and homes, if you like, and exchanging money and contracts. Subscribe evidences means contracts, and seal them and take witnesses in the land of Benjamin, and in the places of Jerusalem, and in the cities of Judah, and in the cities of the mountains, and in the cities of the valley, and in the cities of the south. Think of Eilat, for example, where I will cause a captivity to return, said the Lord. So church age, so the Jewish people coming back from captivity, diaspora. Think of Israel becoming a nation again in 1948. So that is it, folks. I hope that you have enjoyed watching this video. I thought that it was actually quite informative, because people just need to understand, the prophecies here, that not everything that Jeremiah said, in his book, not all the prophecies that he prophesied actually belong in the time that Jeremiah was in, during the captivity Jewish people were in captivity in Babylon under Nebuchadnezzar. So, in his book, in the book of Jeremiah, if you like, there's such a lot of prophecies, like I said, for the church age, for the tribulation period, and also for the millennial kingdom. All right, folks, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you folks later.